Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be building a full real estate website using only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There will not be any backend for this, but there will be beautiful modern slick design. We have made this, as you can see, it's really good, with good animation, good scroll animation, and everything else. It also is responsive, so if we go here and go to mobile, as you can see, it's not responsive for really long screens, but it is responsive enough to support some of all of the things. As you can see, if I go here, it goes all the way to up. And yeah, that's it. Let's start and go ahead and make this thing. So to start building this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close here, come to my VS Code, and go to our blank canvas. So this is where we'll build it. I'll go ahead and do index.html. I'm going to make index.html first. I'm going to make all of the bare essentials. That is also a CSS file. So I'm going to name it style.css. And last, I'm going to make a script.js for our JavaScript file. I'm going to close this here, make our boilerplate really quick. Let's call it whatever that was. So let's call it something like modern real estate website. Just give the name for title. You can give it whatever you want, obviously. I'm also going to link my style.css file and my script.js. Just like that, our boilerplate is done. But I forgot one last thing, that is to use our font awesome icons. I'm just going to quickly copy paste my font awesome link. That is this one right here. This will let us use font awesome icons. So with that said, let's go ahead and start this. Actually, can probably make it here. And just like that. There you go. So I'm going to close this, come down here, make our new file, and we'll start making it here. So what I'm going to do here first, I'm going to make a comment saying header. So this will be our header, that basically our nav bar. So I'm just going to I'm going to give a header tag with an ID that's header, just like that. After this, I'm going to make a nav tag for the nav bar, and also call it container for the nav bar, and give it a class container. And here what I'm going to do is make a div called logo. So this will just be a logo, and just call it elite homes, just like that. Or much better thing, you can also use h1 here, like this. And yeah, there we go, that's our thing. And next thing that we want to do is use our li. So what I'm going to do here is make an order list tag, that is ul, and also give it a class called navlinks, right? I'm going to give it called navlinks, and after that also give it a ID of navlinks. And inside this, what I'm going to do is scroll down a little bit. And inside this, what I'm going to do is give an li tag and give an href that will lead to home. So this will be home. I'm going to name it home as well. So here I need for home properties, by properties, services, all the services that we will list, obviously. And next is about, for about page. And lastly, in footer section, we'll use our contact. So that will be another one of these. So first was properties, so let's quickly write properties. Next was services, so I'm just gonna type services here. And next is about, I'm gonna do about here, and also do contact, just like that. It's not updating here, so I'm gonna reopen the port. Sometimes it glitches out. Okay, I'm dumb, never mind. So we have to update the content. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm just gonna do properties. I forgot, like, I was not editing the content, I was just editing the links, but okay. That's embarrassing, but yeah, I quickly realized. I don't know why I didn't realize. Like, the next is services, and last one is for contact. So that is our list for the navbar. So next we have to make a button, and as you saw in the beginning, we had a get started button. So what I'm going to do is put here and tap contact here, and also make a get started button right here, and also give a class of CTA button, just like this. And yeah, it should be fine. Now next thing I need to do is also give it a div. So I'm just gonna do, for mobile menu, we also need to make a hamburger menu. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a button. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a div that will say mobile menu button, and also have a mobile menu btn. And inside this, I'm going to make 3 span tags, 3 empty span tags that will basically fill using JavaScript. And yeah, that is our header. Now next we have to make is the hero section. So I'm just going to make a comment saying hero section. And this hero section will be pretty much really easy. This will be a section that we'll call hero, and also an ID of home, because we have to link it from this, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna, first what I'm going to do is make a class for hero content, just like that. Inside this, I'm going to make a h1 tag saying find your dream home. Since we're making a real estate website, that makes sense, right? And also make a paragraph tag. I'm going to scroll down and type discover the perfect property with our expert real estate services. So I'm just going to do that. And also do hero. I'm going to make hero buttons. Under this, what I'm going to do is make another one of those links using anchor tags, and just do properties. This will be a button, so I'm just gonna make it like button primary, and just do view properties. So this will basically straight up lead to where we we have the properties listed. I'm also gonna do that, and this will lead to contact, and just type contact agent, just like that. And this will have the secondary styling, so I'm going to give it btn secondary. And yeah, that is our hero section. Now next is our features section. I'm just going to do features section, just like that. And now I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm going to make a section for features first. And also I'm going to make a ID for services. So that is there for linking it through our nav bar, right? And now what I'm going to do is make a container first for this, and also give it h2, and with a class of section title fade in, just like that. Fade in. However, this fade in will be a effect that we'll be making, so I'm just going to put a dot. This will be a separate class, like that. And what I'm going to do here is do y choose. So I'm going to make a y choose elite homes, which is the name of the dummy real estate website that we're building here. And you know what, I'm just gonna do Codynn homes. You know what, I'm just gonna change the name. You know what, yes, I'm just gonna do Codynn homes. Yep, I just rebrand the thing like that. There we go, I did it. I'm just gonna do copy, and I'm just gonna paste it here. There we go. I'm also gonna do that. That looks weird. You know what, I'm gonna put a space there. So next thing what I need to do is make a grid for listing all of the features. So I'm just gonna do I'm just gonna do like features grid. I'm gonna name that features grid. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is do feature card and also put the fade in effect. I'm gonna do like that. And inside this, what I'm gonna do is put a icon. So we already have the link, so we can use our font awesome icons. So what I'm going to do here is use the I tag, which is icon tag. Inside this, I'm going to put my icon, that is, I need a search, and also give it another feature icon tag. And yeah, that will basically give us the search icon, right? Now under this, I also need an h3 that also says advanced search and a paragraph tag with bunch of things. I'm just going to copy here and paste here. This will say, find your perfect home with powerful search filters and advanced matching algorithms. So after that, what I'm going to do is, this is one of the grid. This is one of the grid, right? We have also need to make at least 3 of these, I guess, with the all same but different icons, obviously. I can put this handshake. I'm going to put handshake here. And this will basically have a, let's say, expert guidance and another paragraph tag, which I can just copy and paste it here. Now this code is already in our website, right? If you go to codynn.com/labs, let's say codynn.com, and either you can just come here, or you can just do codynn.com/labs. It will lead to our Codynn labs. Now this is a cool piece of website that we built. Now if you go to here and just do most recent, you can basically find the thing just like that. There's a real estate website that is already listed in our website. So if you want the source code, just come here and it will give you all the source code, all the CSS, and also all the websites, all the JavaScript. And really good part is you can directly actually edit this out if you want to add, your tweak on this, and also watch it happen in real time. So it's actually fully working website, like fully working HTML, CSS, and JavaScript compiler. So I'll also link it in the description, but go to our code. So go to codynn.com/labs. I don't know why I'm stuttering, but So quick shout out to our website. Okay, so yeah. So next thing what I want to do is just get this. So I'm just gonna do here. I just do secure transactions, just like that, and I'm just gonna do all transactions are protected in our secure. I'm just gonna copy this and paste it right here. You might be thinking, why don't you just straight up copy paste? Because it'll come on, man, it's not fun. And like there are people who are trying to learn how the things happens. So like, it's for those people. If you just want the code, it'll be in the description, man. For the lazy people out there. Okay, so yeah. After the features, what I'm gonna do is now for this property section, for where we buy the properties, I'm just gonna quickly put a comment saying properties section. And here what I'm going to do is basically make a section for properties and also make another for properties. I was supposed to make a ID, not a class. And after that, I'm going to give the container div and also give a h2. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scroll down and put it right there. And what I'm going to do here is give a class to this h2 saying section title. So it'll be section title and also have another class saying fade in. And now what I'm going to do is do featured properties, just like that. And also give properties grid. Inside this grid, what I'm going to do is make a property card and also has the fade in effect, right? And inside this, I'm just gonna make one card, and I'll just copy and paste it. So here, first thing that I need is the property image. So what I'm gonna do here is do property image, and yeah, and I'm just gonna add an inline CSS for the background. So I'm just gonna do style and background image. I'm just gonna use a URL. Again, source code will be in the description if you guys want. So yeah, I'm just gonna copy the URL image and paste it right here, like that. That should give me a URL image. Now it's not showing right now because you know, it will not show you. The reason behind that is because we haven't set any height and the width of the thing. So because it's a background for this div, not an image tag, right? So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a property price. I want to make a property price div. It's like that, and let's say the property's price is around $850,000. Like that. That's really expensive. I mean, you can already almost see the text coming out, but once we actually started using CSS, it will look stunning. Trust me, you already saw it in the beginning, right? So next what I'm going to do is do property info. So next this will be the actual name and the location. So I'll just be h3 dot. I'm just going to do property title and just do modern family. I'm just going to do villa. These are really expensive. Like, the thing is, I know that like this is a real estate website, but in my opinion, real estate has been pretty expensive like lately, all over the world. I think it's all over the world. Like, properties prices have gone up really high. So in the last couple of years. I will stop whining and start coding. So what I'm going to do here is this icon will be a marker alt for the location icon. So that is the class for that, which is found awesome class for that is FA map marker alt for the black version. So I'm just going to do alt, and there we go. That is our location icon. Now next, I'm just going to add a span. So basically our label, which is our I meant to type Beverly Hills. I can't speak for some reason. And that is a CA. I can cut that. And yeah, fix the spelling. Now next I can do is I can basically make a div for property features, like listing all the features. Let's say the first feature is what can be the first feature? That is probably rooms, right? What I can do is do class and just do FAS. I need a bed, and this will be bed, and let's say 4 beds, 3 bath. Oh, that's like 3 baths and like 50,000 bathrooms. I'm kidding. Like probably how big is the area? So just gonna do that, and also do, let's say, 3 baths. That should be fine, right? Next one I'm gonna do oops, oh, okay. I can change that to, let's say, I'm gonna swap these out. Now copy paste this, and from here paste that. This will be our, I want a square feet. I wanna give how big the thing. So I'm just gonna do line here. That's a ruler, and also do 2,500 square feet. That's actually big. And yeah, I'm gonna format the document. Should look pretty nice. Now what I need to do is I need to make this card. a couple of times, right? Now this is 1, right? What I'm going to do, so this should be inside that. There we go. And I need to 1, and I need to make it twice. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to change the thing, and it'll be just like that, just 3 of those. That should be fine. If you want to change the data, you can. It's on you. Again, it's just changing the content of these things, but I'm just gonna not touch it because it just make the stream too long, right? The next thing I need to do is check is the grid. So yeah. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. So we'll find the section tag, which is right here. And we should be good. Now next is the stats section, just like that. Now what I'm going to do with the stats section is I'm just going to make quick stat sections. I'll make a section like this, saying having the class stats. Inside this, I'm going to build a container and also have a stats grid. It will basically show the stats of the website on the grid format, and we'll basically kind of have a it'll basically be just like a number increment like that. So if I go to, let's say, the 1500, the demo I showed you here, I go here, this will basically be the stats. So we are basically trying to make this. It'll have an animation of incrementing really fast. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to make that. So to make that, what I'm going to do is make a grid, right? Because you can also make it with Flex, obviously, but making it with grid really helps with responsiveness. And it's kind of easier sometimes. So I'm going to use grid. And inside this, what I'm going to do is make a class for stat item. So this will be individual item for the thing. Also, we'll have the fade in animation that we'll make in CSS. And I'm just going to do h3 and also put a properties sold 0. This will be one parameter. Next is I'm just going to use properties sold, right? I have to change this ID, and I have to remember this. And let's say for property souls, and I'm just going to make here for years experience, awards won, and whatever dummy stats we have. So what I'm going to do here is all of this main div class will be the same. The only thing that's different is this. Let's say the already bought thing, right? Already bought clients. I'm just going to do happy clients and change that to happy clients, and also do years experience, just like that. And I'm just gonna copy here, paste it here. I'm just gonna change that to there. And here what I'm gonna do is change that to, let's say, awards, and paste it here, and just do awards 1 and change the capitalizers like that. And yeah, that is about it. That is the stats section. Our next section we have to build is the contact section. So I'm just going to do contact section. We're going to need to build a form as well. And after that, it's time for the footer, and that should be done. I'm just going to put that there. And also now we'll make a section that will have a class of contact, right? And also have an ID of contact. Inside this, I'm just going to make a container div. Inside that, I'm going to make an h2 with a section title class, and also have the fade in animation class. And just we'll have a content of get in touch, just like that. And here I'm just gonna make the content. So I'm just gonna make it name it a div, name the div saying contact content. And inside this, what I'm going to do is make a contact info with, again, the fade in animation because it just looks nice. Let's be real. Just going to do fade in info with fade in. So inside this, what I'm going to do is make a class called contact item for one div. I'm going to make I need an icon, so I'm just going to steal one of these icon tags, paste it right here, and change the icon to a phone. And also have the contact icon tag, just like that. And we'll give a phone icon with having the contact icon class. And I'm going to make another div inside here with no class because I don't think I need it. And inside this, there will be h4 with a phone number and a paragraph tag with some random phone number. I'm just going to copy the phone number, dummy phone number that we have. Don't call this, by the way, even though I don't think it's anyone's phone number, but just don't do that. It's really bad. Next is I'm just going to copy this and paste it a bunch of times. It still has the same thing, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now format the document. Now this, what I'm gonna do here is the outer div class remains the same. What changes is this. I'm just gonna do map marker alt, just like that, and I'm gonna change the div saying office, and I have a dummy address right here given by ChatGPT. And I need a email, so I'm just going to do email, and the email, let's say, is codynn@gmail.com, just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the contact info. So under this, what I'm going to do is make the form. So for making the form, right, what I'm going to do is use the form tag, obviously, but have first I need to put these. I just will use fade in here and also name the class to contact form. Also give an ID of contact form to get use the form from JavaScript. And also now I'm going to make a div called form group. It will basically group the thing that we need. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a label first. For a label, I'm going to do name and just do full name, just like that. And here I'm going to make a input field with text, obviously. I also have an ID of name and name of name. So this is for ID, is for just linking this, and also this is for, it's text, obviously. Name, it's for the JavaScript. So here what I'm going to do is also do required, just like that. And yeah, that is one form. I'm just going to copy that, paste it here. So this is for email. I'm going to do email and copy that, paste it there, paste it there, paste it there. Also paste it there, just like that. I'm just going to do email address. And yeah, that is another div. I'm going to copy that, paste it here. This is for phone number. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add very important thing, that is autocomplete is off, so I don't leak my personal information. So yeah, if I don't put this, it will just suggest my already given my, let's say, his phone number. It will just leak my phone number. So I'm just gonna do autocomplete off, but you can keep it on if you're just building your project. It doesn't really matter, but since I'm making video, I'm doing autocomplete off. So next is phone numbers. I'm just gonna do phone, right? And here I'm just gonna copy the ID and name. However, I'm also gonna do, let's say, phone number. I'm gonna label that and change here to tel because it's not phone, it's tel for the type, right? Now, next thing that we can make is for the message, if you're trying to make. But here, I'm gonna use text area because it's a message, and I'm gonna put message here. It'll have name, ID. It'll also have message. I'm gonna change that to message. Change that to message as well. And now I need a placeholder. For placeholder, I'm just gonna do tell us about your property needs. Just like that. And I'm gonna add a required. And that's it. Now, last thing I need to make is a submit button. I'm gonna make a button with a class of submit button and do send message. So this will emit a submit event that will catch from JavaScript. So for that to work, we need to give it a type of submit. And yeah, that's about it. Right now it looks really ugly, I know, but you know, again, it's just plain HTML, right? So now we have to make our footer section. So I'm just gonna quickly add this. And here what I'm gonna do is make a footer with the ID of about. I'm gonna make a container here and also make a footer content and also make a footer section. So we'll be inside the inside this we'll have, so this is the main container that wraps the footer, right? This is the content for the footer that will wrap the individual section of the content. So this is one section right here. So inside this section, first there'll be an h3 that will say elite homes, not elite homes. I forgot I changed it to Codynn homes. Just like that, it looks cool. And here next is I have a p tag with a paragraph. So I'm just gonna copy that and paste it right here. And here will be all of our social links. So for the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now this will lead to nowhere, obviously. So I'm just gonna put hashtag here, and now I need an icon. I'm just gonna copy this one right here and paste it here. Now I need first for Facebook. Now if I type Facebook here, nothing comes in because I also have to do B here, and that is Facebook icon. But I want the only F version. So I'm just gonna do -F, and that'll change the Facebook icon. Now what I need to do here is copy that and change the icon to Twitter. Right now I can just double paste that, change that to Instagram, and now at last I can do the LinkedIn. Just like that. There we go. If I do only this, it will give me the background LinkedIn, but I only want the text one. I'm just gonna do when add in, and that will give me that one. So yeah, that's what I needed, and that's what I used. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I need to copy this, paste it 3 times, and here what I'm gonna do is change the content. So for the second link, I'm just gonna do quick links, just like that. For the, I don't need that, and now I also don't need this, just like that. But what I do need is these links, but I don't need these icons. So I'm just gonna cut that. cut that, and cut that. I don't know why I did cut that, but okay. So these are links, and yeah, I'm gonna wrap it in p tag, and put that here. Now I need a bunch of these, just like that. But this one is for home, right? This one is for properties. This one's for basically we're just making nav bar kind of link. We'll just take to whatever the thing is. Unless I'll just do contact. And here I'm just gonna type home and type properties and I'm gonna type services. I'm gonna type about, and last I'm just gonna type contact. And yeah, I need to capitalize this just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. For next footer section, now I realize that I can just use this. Just gonna change that. That will be services. I'm just gonna change that to services. Just like that. And I don't need these links now. I'm just gonna change that. I'm gonna change it, do property sales, and next to property rental, just bit dummy data. Let's say property management and investment advisory, just like that. And last, I'm just gonna type market analysis, just like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just gonna copy this, and for the last footer section, just gonna paste that and type that contact info here, right? And what I can do next is I can just use p tag. Inside the p tag, I can tag with a class of FAS, FA, the phone. And inside this, let's say I have a dummy data phone number, which I grabbed from earlier. And if I go here and just copy paste it, let's say that this one is envelope and next one is map marker alt. And let's say I change let's say this is emails. So I'm just gonna do codynn@gmail.com, just like that. And I have a dummy, let's say real estate, let's say dummy data. And last, I'm gonna use p tag and save some city, I guess, just like that. And then that's pretty much it. Now when you go to our website, you'll actually find all of the data which will be distinct and actually kind of a imitation of real data. So I'm just typing whatever I want here, and also copy pasting it, because these three are the same, right? But it doesn't really matter because it's just a project. You can just change the data easily anyways. But if you want to check that out, check the actual full project with distinct data and actually looks kind of real, then head out to codynn.com/labs or click the link in the description. So yeah, after that, I think we're almost done. The next thing I need to do is, I think, pretty much very, very simple. So yeah, after the grid, I have the footer content. So if I just do footer content here, footer content. This is footer content, right? Yeah. Wait a minute. So after footer content, at last I need to make a copyright act. So I'm just doing footer section. I meant footer bottom. And here I'm just gonna type a p tag and just do. I need to make the copy the actual icon. So I'm just gonna do copy 2024 Codynn Homes, all rights reserved, and I'm going to add privacy policy and terms of service. There we go. That is for the thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is our HTML structure. So let's go ahead and style it using CSS. We already have linked our style or CSS file with HTML, and I believe we also have done it the same for our script.js. So let's go ahead and actually style this bad boy. So what I'm going to do here, since we are doing CSS, I'm going to bring back the page here. And now let's style. So what I'm going to do here is call the universe selector first and do margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing we'll do border box. The first thing that we'll make will basically remove all of the existing default padding and also margin, and also box size to border box. So next, the first thing we have to style is the body. We'll choose the font for all of it. So we will just do we'll do stats UI just like that, and yeah, that is basically the font that we are choosing. So next is line height. I'm just gonna do line height 1.6, give it a little bit gap, and also color. I'm gonna choose a grayish color, a grayish dark, but it's not completely black, by the way. So next, overflow to x-axis. I'm gonna put 2 in. So that is the body tag or body style that we'll use. Now the main thing happens inside the container. So there are a bunch of containers inside this web page. So all of those will have a width of 1200 pixels, and also margin I'm going to do 0 auto. Also do padding, I'm going to do 0.20 pixels. Just like that. Looks pretty good. Now next thing I need to style is the header. So I'm just going to put header and comment that out. I'm going to call the header tag. Right, I'm going to call the header tag and do position. I'm going to make it fixed. Now since our thing has to be fixed inside the header tag, right, I will do that. Now next thing I need to make is the top. Let's say I'm going to do 0 here. For width I'm going to do 100 pixels. Obviously I need to cover whole screen in terms of width. Next I need to add a background. I don't know why I typed RGBA, and do RGBA, do 255, 255, and 255 with 0, let's say 1. So that's perfectly white. Actually I don't think I want perfect white. Let's say 0.9. Now next is backdrop filter for blur. So I'm just going to do backdrop filter, add a blur effect of, let's say, 10 pixels. And next thing I need to make is I have to add a z index because I don't want it to be outside the thing, right? Next is padding. I'm going to do 1 rem and 0, and also give transition to all 0.3 seconds at ease. So I need to make another for header scroll. So when header is scrolled, right, I have to add a box shadow. So I want to add a box shadow when it's scrolled. So we'll basically detect it using JavaScript and add the class list here. So I'm just going to do that. 0.1. And yeah, pretty much it. We haven't actually made the thing look pretty, but we'll do it in a second here. And come here, go to our header. And yeah, pretty much it. Now next thing we have to make is the nav. So we'll actually start the nav bar. So I'm just going to call the nav bar. Do display flex. It will be on all of them will be on the main axis. And just to justify content, I'm going to do space between. So it's basically spaces out completely. Now, next thing I can do is do line items set to center. And yeah, that is about it. Now, next thing I can do is style the logo first, which is this text right here. This is our logo, right? And do font size, I can do 1.8 rem. I want it a little bit bigger. And do font weight, I can do bold, give it importance. And I can do color, I can set to our blue color. And do 2C5A0. Like that. We'll basically be building blue and whitey's theme. Kind of goes together. And do nav, I can do nav links. I'm going to display flex and do list style. List style type, I can do none. That will make us the dots go away, which is list style. Now next I can give a gap between them, saying 2 rem, so they'll be gapped out and look kind of neat. Now to style the individual links, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy that, add an A, that is for anchor tags, the individual anchor tags that is inside the nav links, which is our UL tag. We're styling all of these, right? Now styling, I will just add, for the first thing is I want to remove the underline, so I'm just going to do text decoration, none, that will get rid of that underline. Now next thing I want to do is change the color to black, so I'm just going to do that. Next thing I'm going to do is increase a font weight, so I'm just going to do font weight 500 and do transition and do color 0.3 seconds at ease to give that transition effect, and you'll see exactly why I'm doing it in a second. I also give position of relative, which will basically sit relative to our fixed header right here, because this is inside our header tag, right? Now I need to make a hover effect for all of those links. What I'm going to do here is do nav links and choose hover. So this will basically change the color to this, our signature blue color. So just like that, that will change the color. However, I also want to add a line effect under the anchor tags. So I'm just going to add a after state here, and there will be a content of that, basically a line, and do position absolute. I'm going to position the thing to I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally pressed Control A. And do position the absolute and do width 0 and do height. I can do 2 pixels and also do bottom to -5 pixels. Also do left 0, just like that. And now background color, I can do the signature blue or the line, and transition I can do width 0.3 seconds at ease. Now I need to link all of those, so when the links are hovered, plus when the after effect triggers, it will basically, when hover, it will trigger the after effect, and the after effect, it will change the width, which was initially 0. It will change it to 100%, width slowly incrementing because we also have the transition element and also the after. So what I'm going to do here is that, right? Okay. Now that doesn't work. The reason is probably pretty simple. Wait, give me a second, guys. And okay, that's pretty much it. I need to do hover. Oh, okay, I messed up the syntax here. So I can just do that. And now if I do this, there we go, it should work. I thought it was nav links and then state. I guess I was mistaken. Whoops, I have been forgetting my CSS syntaxes. Now next thing what I need to do is make style the button. That is the only thing that's left, right? So I'm gonna call the CDN button. I'm gonna change the background to our signature blue and do color. I'm gonna put it to white. I'm gonna change the padding. I'm gonna scroll down because emits are hiding everything. And I'm just gonna change the padding to 0.8 rem, 1.5 rem. And do text decoration to none here, and also do border radius to 8 pixels. And do transition, I can do all 0.3 seconds at ease. And font weight, I'm gonna do 500. I need to add, now I need to make a hover effect. Obviously every time you make a button, make sure to make it make a hover effect for that button as well, guys. It will just make the whole user experience really interactive. Now right now if I hover over it, it doesn't do anything. It's kind of boring, right? Now what I can do is make a background. Let's say I choose a background that's darker than the, which is a darker blue. So what I'm going to do here is do E3 and F7. I'm just going to do F7 3. Now if I hover over it, it's a little bit darker. Now as you can see, it's much more better. Now it'll also add another hover effect, so it will just lift up 2 pixels upward. Now that's what it will do. Now box shadow, I'll just do 8 pixels and 25 pixels with RGBA. Let's say 44, 90, 160, and 0.3. That's just a color. As you can see, it just looks much more better. And yeah, that is our navbar. It looks pretty good. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. Now next thing you have to make is the hero section. So I'm just gonna comment a hero section here and also do .hero. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna make the height of the hero section to be 100 bh. So it'll take the whole screen for itself, right? And now what I'm going to do is do background. I'm just going to do linear gradient, and I'm just going to add a grayish color. Also grade it using those both colors. Just like that. Looks pretty nice. And what I'm going to do is also put it I can also do, I'll put a URL for the thing. And just like that, I'm just gonna add the URL here, which is the thing. I have to add it to be center, and I will also wanna be object with cover. So yeah, that looks pretty nice, right? That looks pretty nice. Yes, sir. Sure does. Now, next thing I need to do is make sure that we have the content. So I'm just going to do display flex, align items to center, which is this content right here. And what I'm going to do is to justify content to center as well, and do text line set to center. That'll make the text go to center. I need to make the color white and also do position relative. And yeah, that is for the hero section, for the container. Now we have to style the actual content. So I'm just going to do hero content and do, I need to style the h1. So I'm just going to put h1 here. And do font size. Let's see, I increase the font size really hard. So let me just do 3.5 rem. And margin bottom. Margin bottom, I'm going to do 1 rem. And do opacity set to 0. The reason I'm doing this is it will have an animation of coming upwards. So yeah, we'll make it in a bit and do, I will call this animation just fading up 1 second ease and just do forwards. And yeah. And next thing I need to do is do hero content paragraph, which is this thing right here. This will have a similar style, so I'm just gonna copy this, paste there. The only thing that will be different is the styling content, so I'm just gonna do that. Margin bottom will increase for 2 rem, and opacity will be 0, and it will have the same effect. But it will basically come up 0.3 seconds. After 0.3 seconds, and now for the buttons, I'm just gonna do hero buttons, and I'm just gonna do display flex gap. I'm gonna do 1 rem, and also justify content, do center, opacity set to 0, but I'll hold on to that for a bit. Animation will be the same for this, but will be 0.6 instead of 0.3. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we have to style the button, so I'm just gonna do button primary. So this is the first button, which is the view properties right here. So for this, what I'm going to do is give this, I need to scroll down. I'm just going to give this a signature blue, just like that. And do color, I'm going to give it white, and also do padding 1 rem and 2 rem, and also give it text decoration set to none. I'm going to give border radius 8 pixels, and also going to give font weight 500, and also do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease, just like that. Now I need to make a hover effect for this. I'm going to do hover here. Now hover, I'm just going to give it a deeper blue effect, and I'm just going to transform. I'm going to make it come up negative actual 3 pixels, and also do box shadow. I'm just going to change the box shadow, let's say 10 pixels, 30 pixels. I'll add a box shadow here to this one right here, but a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to do that. As you can see, it looks great. Now that is for the primary. Now for the secondary, what I'm going to do is this will have a classic border and just changing it to primer button. So you'll see what I mean. So right now the primer button is filled with our blue signature blue color, right? Now if it were the same, it will look kind of bad. So what we can do instead is I can change the background to transparent, and I can do color, I can do white, alright? I can change the pen to run, just like that, and also do text decoration to none to get rid of that underline. And I can add a border, so I can add a border here. I can do 2 pixels solid white, just like that. It looks fine, alright? Now for border radius, I can just check it, let's say I just do the thing of 8 pixels and do font weight a little bit darker, and transition all 0.3 seconds at ease as normal. Now what I can put in hover effect is, for hover, what I can do is just set the background color to our signature blue, just like this. Or what I can do is make it a darker gray, because this is the same color, right? Now here what I'm going to do is just to transform, translate at -y, 3 pixels, and add the same box shadow here. I just go here and just basically copy that and just paste it here. As you can see, it is right there, just like that. It looks clean. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Well, that is our hero section. Now there is nothing on this because opacity is 0. Now you can basically we'll basically add animations here. That's why the opacity is 0. So don't worry, it will look clean. I swear. We'll basically make a lift up effect, and yeah, they will look, when you load into it, it will look stunning. The next thing we have to style is the features section, I believe, right? Yeah, it's a features section. And what I'm going to do here is put a comment saying it's a features section, just like that, and just type call the features div and give a padding of 6 rem and 0, and give a background of a f8, f9, f8. I need to give a hashtag here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of a lightish, very lightish gray, not perfect white though, so keep that in mind. So next I need to style all of these section titles. We have a lot of section titles, so yeah. First thing, I need to put all of that to center. So this text section title means these, and yeah, that's it. So here what I'm going to do is do font size. I'm going to scale them to 2.5 rem, and also add a margin bottom of 3 rem. I'm going to scroll down again. Under color, I'm just going to add the gray normal text header color. And yeah, that's great. So next thing I need to add is I need to style the features grid. Right, so obviously I'm going to display them as grid, and for the grid template columns I'm just going to do repeat autofit. I'm just going to use the min max and do 300 pixels each per fraction. We'll just come up like this, each being 300 pixels, and we have to add a gap. This will basically apply the gap for the sides and also the top. So it's also here and here as well. So if I inspect here and come down here, as you can see, the gap is basically the gap between the grids is 2 rem. Now next what I'm going to do is do margin top 3 rem from the grid. Just like that, and that's pretty much it for the grid. Now we have to style the individual cards of the div. I'm just going to do feature card here, and now background I can set that to white. Since the background is not perfect white, it's kind of tinted gray, it will basically stand out a little bit. Now it doesn't look that great right now, but we have to style it even further. So next thing I'm going to give is to padding. I'm going to give 2 rem, and also do border radius. I'm going to do 15 pixels, and text line I can do center, and also do box shadow. I can do 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels, and I'm just going to give this one right here, which is really kind of close to black. I mean, it's black, I guess. So next what I'm going to do is give transform, or actually I can use transition here to all 0.3 at ease, do cursor pointer. So if I go here now, it will change the cursor to pointer. Now we have to make a hover effect for the card, and for that I can just do that and scale that transform to lift it 10 pixels. Now if I do here, it will go down, as you can see, but I want it to come to up, so I'm just gonna add negative. So that's how it works. So negative is upwards, and normal, like normal thing, is downwards, right? Now that is in y direction. If I change that to x direction, it will basically go on the left. And if I change to positive pixels, it will go to right. Right? That makes sense. It looks pretty nice here. And yeah. Now it lifts up instantly. If you want to do really slow, you can add the 1 second delay, and now it loads. It basically transitions really slow. Hit the like button if you learned something new. Now next what I can do is, it already has, sorry I cut that, already has a box shadow, right? But what I want to do is, when you lift up, I want to change the box shadow, because it's lifting up and the shadow has to change, right? Now, since the transition is applied on all of the aspect here, the box shadow will also get the transition effect. So what I'm going to do here is change the box shadow location to 20 pixels and 40 pixels while a little bit lighter. So as you can see, the shadow darkens a little bit, giving it the lift up effect. Now that is the hover effect. Now I need to style the content, so I'm just going to do icon first, which is these icons right here. Now these are really small, so I need to make them a little bigger, so I'm just going to give it 3 rem. Next is margin bottom. I'm going to give it 1 rem. Scroll down a little bit because MS are hiding what I'm typing here. And also do color, set that to our signature text black. And next is I can do feature card P, right? And also give it a margin bottom of 1 rem. Actually it looks really bad. I think I need to change the color. So I'm just gonna give our color to our signature blue. That looks better. Now next I need to style the, I think it's H3. I forgot. Give me a second. Let me quickly check. I can check it through here. These are icons, so these are H3. Okay. These are H3, so I'm just gonna use H3 here. Font size, I'm going to do 1.5 rem, and also do margin bottom set to 1 rem, and color set to that signature white, signature black. And that's pretty much it for that. Now, next thing I need to make is for the paragraph tag last. So I'm just going to change the color to something gray, so 666. And line height, I'm just going to change it to 128, giving a little bit bigger line. And that's pretty much it for the features section. Now next we have to make for properties section. Now this is really good. I'm just gonna add a comment saying properties section. I'm gonna call the main properties tag here, or the class. Give it the same 6 rem padding with 0. So it lines up with that section. Now next thing what I can do is style this as a grid. So all of these data right here, all of these cards, which is 1, 2, and 3, I need to make them a grid. So I'm just going to do properties, all that's grid, display it as grid. Now I need to style the grid to repeat, auto fit, and do min max. I'm just going to change to 350 pixels, a little bit bigger, and do 1 fraction. It will be just like that. Now next what I can do is give a gap of 2 rem and margin top of 3 rem, just like that. Now it still looks horrible, but we still have to style it, so don't worry. For the properties, I can do property card. I'll do background, I can do white, and also do border radius to 15 pixels. I'm going to scroll down because it will again hide the MS. MS will hide what I'm typing. And overflow, I'm going to set to hidden. Next, what I'm going to do is put the box shadow to 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels. And RGBA set to that again. And transition, I'm just going to do all 0.3 seconds at ease. And put the cursor to pointer. So that is for outer card styling, right? I have to add a hover effect for this. So I'm just gonna copy here, paste here, add hover here, and translate that white to -8 pixels. It will lift up quite a bit. Now I have to change the box shadow again. So that'll be from that. I'm just gonna do 0, 20 pixels, and 40 pixels. RGB will be the same. But this one right here, I do here, just like that. That will be just like, wait, give me a second here. Now, if I do property card, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The next thing what I need to do is give out we have to make the property image. So what I'm going to do here is do properties. I'm going to do property image. You can do height 250 pixels, just like that. Also have a background cover. I can do background size set to cover, just like that, and do background positions to center on the div, right, and put that to relative. Why is it? It looks really weird, but it should not have been. Give me a second here. Did I do something wrong? I don't think so. Property here, this is the property card. Oh, this card has the property card. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so that makes sense. So the property card is taking everything. So what I'm gonna do here, I need to make sure that it lands just like that. So that's fine. What am I? Okay, that's weird. Yeah, give me a second, guys. We'll probably fix it in a bit. But let's style the thing first. So what I'm gonna do here is next style the property price. I'm just gonna do position. I'm gonna do absolute, and do top 15 pixels, and do right. I'm just gonna do 15 pixels. Background set to our signature blue here, which is this text right here. And I'm just gonna do color white because it looks kind. I need to add padding because it's kind of glued out there, right? I'm just gonna. I also need to add, because it's glued out, it's really, there is no space, so I'm just gonna do 0.5 rem and 1 rem, like that. And border radius, I'm just gonna add 20 pixel, it will look nicer. And font weight, I'm gonna do bold. It looks really weird though. For the property info, I'm just gonna do padding 1.5 rem, and do property title. I can do font size in the 1.3 rem, and do margin bottom 0.5 rem, and do color set to that. That should look pretty good. Next thing I need to do is do property. I can do property location. Now location color will be this, just like that. Next thing I need to do is do margin bottom. We can do 1 rem, and also we can do display flex here. Align item set to center, and do gap. I can give 0.5 rem, just like that, and that's our location. Now next I can do is give out our property features, right? And do display flex, and do justify content space between, and do margin bottom 1 rem, just like that. And individual features, I can just do feature. I can do display flex them, align item set to center. I need to add a gap there, so 0.3 rem, and also do color set to that right there. Oh, that looks pretty good. I still don't understand why is it making that, but okay. Change that whole thing. If I reload fixes all, it doesn't. It's adding that effect, the hover effect, for all of the thing. That cannot be right. I think I added something on the grid. Hmm. Give me a second. Oh, okay. I added a space here. Okay, there we go. If you add a space, it'll basically apply hover ball of that. Okay, so after that, yeah, it looks pretty good. That's pretty much it. And yeah, that's it. Now, next thing we have to style is the stats icon for these. And after that, I think that should be pretty easy. So first thing I need to do is make a grid. Not make a grid, actually. I need to actually go to our stats here. Let's do stats section here. Now what I can do here is go down, right? And here I'm just gonna call stats. I'm gonna set the background to our signature and also do color. Since by default color is black, I'm gonna change it to white. Also do padding, I'm gonna set to 4 rem and 0. And that's it. So next one I'm gonna do is put a stats and grid. Here what I can do is display the grid. Just like that, display as a grid. Now to style the grid, so I'm just gonna do grid template columns, repeat, auto fit, min max. Oops, sorry, I can do min max and do 200 pixels per fraction, just like that. Looks pretty nice. Now I can do gap 2rem, not grid gap, a normal gap. I can set 2rem, and at last I can do text align set to center. Yep, that should be in center, just like that. And you have to style the individual content, right? I can just type. And I need to call the stat item. First, I need to call h3 here, so I'm just gonna add h3, which is this. These are h3, right? All these text. And now for that, I need to increase the font rem and also change the opacity to 0.9. Now for that, I just need to copy here, paste here, and do P, and do font size 1.2 rem, and also do opacity set to 0.9. I change that to the same. I can probably put this a little bit bigger. 3 rem? How big is 13 rem? Really big. I don't need that big. Do 3 rem there, that's pretty nice. And change it to a little bit darker. There we go. And yeah, that is our stats. That's our stats div. Now next we can do our forms. Now what I can do here is the contact section. I need to make a comment for this is the contact section. I need to come down here, and here I can just start our div. So what I'm gonna do is do contact and probably do padding the normal 6 rem and 0, and also do background, change it to our next white, which is kind of gray. And yeah, that is our footer. After that, we'll style the footer, and I think we should be done after that. Next is contact content, right? Here, what I'm going to do is display them as a grid. Now, next thing what I can do is also do grid template columns. I'm just going to do, since there are just two, I can just put it just like that. I'm going to do gap, I can add 4 rem, and also do margin top, I can do 3 rem. That should be just like that. Now next, I can need to style the info, which is, I believe, and then the info is all of these. It is, actually it's all, both of those, okay. I'm going to display flex and do flex direction set to column, and also do gap, I can do 2 rem. Like that. Now next is the contact item. Next thing I can do is, now for the contact item, I can do display flex and line item set to center. And here, what I can do is do gap set to 1 rem. I messed up this thing right here, so contact info so it's right there, right? We have individual contact item. I can set that to flex direction to column. And why is that the thing? I can set here to flex direction to column. And here I can do text line items to center. And I messed up somewhere in our HTML structure. So if I do contact item here, oh, that makes sense. Okay, sure. So here it just works the way that much. Probably can get away with like this. There we go, it's fixed. I mean, it's not fixed. If I do that, and now do display flex and do line items center, should always be a, there we go, just like that. I just needed that. Now, next what I can do is do gap, I can do 1 rem, and do background set to white, and also do border radius 10 pixels, just like that. And I can also do box shadow 0, 3 pixels, 3 pixel, 10 pixels, RGBA set to that. And now it looks kind of bad. There is no padding, so I'm just gonna add a padding of 1.5 rem. Immediately after adding padding, it looks a lot better. Next is contact icon. The icon is really small, so I'm gonna increase the size using font size, since icon act like a text. And I'm also gonna change the color to our signature blue. There we go. And now for the form. So for the form, what I can do is give a background of white, like that. And now I'm going to give a padding of 2 rem. And also give a border radius of 15 pixels. And also give a box shadow of 0, 5 pixels, 20 pixels, RGBA set to that. And there we go. That is our container. That is our form. You can say, now we can style the individual form group. Just like that. I misspelled the group. Now for the form group, what I'm going to do is first set the margin bottom to 1.5 rem. Right? For the individual thing, we can set that. Now next thing what I can set is the style individual form group. So first thing I'm going to style a label. I'm going to do display as a block because right now it's in line. Just like that. Margin bottom set to 0.5 rem and font weight I can do 500. And there we go. That's the label that we need. Now next thing that we'll style, I will style it together. That is form group input and form group text area. And the width I can do 100 pixels and also do padding 0.8 rem. Also do border 2 pixels solid. Let's do E9 ECEF, kind of a whitish, or not whitish but whitish gray. And also do border radius set to 8 pixels, font size do 1 rem, and also do transition. I'm going to transition the border color. So I'm just going to do border color and do 0.3 seconds ease. There we go. Looks clean. Now next thing what I can do is for the focus, which is the clicked state of that. So I'm just going to add focus here and also a focus here. I'm just gonna increase that a little bit, format the document, looks clean. Now for that, I'm first gonna change in the clicked state, I'm gonna change the outline to none. And also have a border color. Border color, I'm gonna change it to our signature blue. So if we now click over it, as you can see, it looks much nicer with the transition effect too. Now that is our message. Now we have to style the actual button and also need to style the text area. So this is the combined. So for next thing, I'm also going to add a resize to vertical. That is just much more convenient. And also height, I'm just going to add to a little bit bigger. So what resize vertical does is you only can increase the size vertically, right? Only vertically. Now if I just completely comment this part out, it will be absolute disaster because user can also do this and it will basically mess with our HTML structure, right? Just like that. If I do resize vertical, the user can only do this, which is again still nicer than the normal. Next thing what I can do is do submit button. Now background will be obviously our signature like gray color. What will be different is a lot of things. One is color, because right now it's black and the blue and black don't go together. I'm going to change that to white. Padding I'm going to increase to 1 rem and 2 rem. And also do border none, right? And just like that, it immediately looks better. I'm going to add border radius too, so I'm just going to do border radius 8 pixels, just like that. I'm going to increase the font size to 1 rem, just like that, and also do cursor set to pointer, and also do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease. And now it still looks pretty nice, but I think it will look really nice if the width was 100%. taking all of this extra space. As you can see, it looks really nice right now. That is our thing. Now I need to make one thing for the hover effect. So I'm going to do hover here, and yeah, change the background to this and transform it. I'm going to transform it, I'm going to lift it -2 pixels on the Y, and we should be good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now only for the footer section. On the footer section left, I'm going to add a comment saying footer. I'm going to call the footer, and background, I'm just going to make a grayish or tint of white background. So I'm just going to use 1A, 1A, 1A. Really popular color for this because it's not perfectly black, but it also gives a grayish tint. Now color, obviously it'll be white, and padding I'm going to give 3 rem, 0 and 1 rem. And yeah. Now next thing I have to change is the footer content, right? Now I'm just gonna display it as a grid, just like that. Use grid template columns, repeat, and do autofit, min max, and do 250 pixel per fraction, just like that. It will be on a line. And next what I can do is give gap 2 rem, and also do margin bottom set to 2 rem actually. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I have to actually style the individual footer section. Right, the first one is the title. So title, I'm just gonna I need a margin bottom there, so I'm just gonna do 1 rem margin bottom and change the title to our signature gray color, just like that. Next thing I have to do is do footer section P and footer section A. The color here will be gray, so I'm just going to do that. Next thing that we need to make is text decoration will be none because I don't want any underlines, just like that. And I was going to choose the line height to 1.8. There will be a significant amount of line heights. That's pretty much it. Now to make for footer section a hover, for paragraph we don't need it, but for hover we do. So color, it will change it to signature blue, which will be genuinely noticeable, just like that. And yeah, now for all of these social links, and what I can do for that is I can do display flex gap, I'm gonna do 1 rem, and margin top I can do 1 rem, just like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now next thing I need to do is I'm gonna call social link. I need to style individual things. So here what I'm gonna do is do display, I'm gonna do inline block, right, just like that. I'm gonna increase the width and height to 40 pixels each, so it'll be a little bit bigger. Next, what I can do is change the background to our signature, and I can make the whole thing a flexbox. Before I do that, I also need to add, since I'm gonna make it a perfect circle, I'm gonna do that. I need to make this a flexbox and do line item center and justify content center. That will be exactly in the middle. And do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease, just like that. And there we go. I need to make a hover effect for this. And I need to do that. Now next thing I can do is do transform. I can do translate it a little bit less, let's say my negative 3 pixels. It should lift up just like that. Now next thing I need to do is change the background to a darkish white. So yeah, there we go. It's still visible. Looks pretty nice. And now for this footer bottom. Sorry, this is not the footer bottom. And for this, what I'm going to do, I just realized it's just sticking close together. To fix that, what I can do is just add space here, and yeah, that will fix it. So for the footer bottom, which will be pretty much very simple, what I'm going to do is do text line set to center, padding top, I'm going to do to rem, and do border top 1 pixel solid. I'm going to do gray here and do color and do lightish gray. So I'm just going to do 999 and that should be done. There we go. And that is all of ours. So now is for media queries. So this is for, but I think we are still a lot of things. So what I'm going to do here, we are still not done with a couple of different things. The first one is animations. So I'm just going to do animations, and here I'm going to cut that for a second. For animations, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Now first, I'm going to add for fade in up that we made, right? So it'll, from opacity 0 is going to change that to translate add y to 30 pixels. And next thing I need to do is from to 2, we'll change the opacity to 1 and transform to translate that y to 0. So that will be our fade in animation. And yeah, now for the fade in class, which we will make, is do opacity to 0. We'll change everything because every content had fade in, and do transform translate add y to 30 pixels and do transition all 0.8 seconds at ease, just like that. And now we have to add another when we put it, so we'll basically control it in JavaScript, and when we need to make the fade in, we also have to do opacity, set that to 1, and transform. We'll basically add fade in dot visible, so when you do visible, it will give that effect, just like that. And yeah, there we go. Now we also have to make for the hamburger menu. So hamburger menu will be super easy. So for the menu, I'm just gonna do menu dot button here and do display none. Initially it'll display none because for web for that, right? But I'm just gonna do flex direction. I'm gonna set that to column, obviously, and cursor I'm gonna set that to pointer, and I'm gonna do gap, I'm gonna do 4 pixels. That's for the menu button. Next is the mobile menu button span. So individual span, do width, I'm gonna do 25 pixels, and do height, I'm gonna do 3 pixels, and do background, I'm gonna put this, and also do transition all 0.3 seconds at ease when you click on the button, and that will be transition for all of this, right? Now finally, we can use media queries, and initial we'll do max width. For max width, it will be for 768 pixels. For that, mobile menu button will be, right now it's display none, it will be display flex, right? And next thing we have to make is for the nav links. So nav links will be display none, right? When we hit 768, it will be display none. Will be positioned absolute, top 100%, and do left 0, and do background set to white, and flex direction set to column, and padding set to 1 rem, and box shadow, I'm going to set that to 0, 2 pixels, 10 pixels, and do RGBA, set that to that, and we are good. That's for the nav links, right? Now next we have to make for the nav links dot active. So this will be the thing that will make the this nav links active for the mobile menu. So I'm just gonna do display flex here. Pretty much easier. Next is hero content. So when we reach 768 pixels, we have to adjust the hero content. So first, for the h1 of the hero content, which is the actual text, this text right here, as you can see, the actual animation, it pops out, looks pretty nice. That was the animation I was talking about, by the way. Now, next thing what I can do is do 2.5 rem, right? Now, I can also do this. And yeah, so next what I can do is also give the hero buttons. So I'm just going to do hero buttons. I'm just going to do flex direction set to column, and gap set to 1 rem. If I do that, that will be just like that. It will be set to column. Next is contact forms. So if I do to contact content, right now it's set to 1 fraction and 1 fraction. Now I can just change that to 1 fraction only and do gap 2 rem between the thing. Last, for the footer section. Or I'm going to call the footer content. I'm going to set the grid template columns for 1 fraction and text line set to center. And yeah, it should look pretty nice. Do 1 fraction actually. It does look pretty good. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that, I guess. And yeah, that is for the style. Now we have to add JavaScript for this, and it will look pretty nice after that. I mean, at least it should look pretty nice, in my opinion. And yeah, let's go to JavaScript now. So let's start our JavaScript, shall we? I'm just gonna make sure that it is side on top so we can see the actual code a lot more. So yeah, let's go ahead and start our JavaScript. So the first thing I need to make is do window.addEventListener. This will listen to the scroll. Now, if the user scrolls, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the header DOM. So I'm just gonna store the header DOM into that. What am I typing? I need to do get element by ID and get the header. Right? Hopefully I put it right. I should have. There we go. And here what I'm gonna do is if the user scrolls on the y direction, right? If the user scrolls more than 100 pixels, I'm just gonna add the header.classList add. I'm gonna add the header scrolled element. So that is if I just type header, it will just add the box shadow for this nav bar right here. That makes sense, right? We'll just add the header we'll just add that class list for the header. Now, next thing what I need to do is I also need to add an else condition here saying header the class list. If the user does not scroll, it will just basically remove it. Just like that. I'm just gonna remove the header dot scrolled. Hopefully that, I think it should be fine, but for that I'm just gonna do that. There we go. Yeah, you can see the shadow right there. Now, next thing I need to do is add the mobile toggle menu. So I'm gonna do const mobile menu button, and do document dot get element by ID. I'm gonna get the mobile menu button. After we get it, I'm just gonna copy paste that, change that to navlinks, just like that. Just gonna copy that, paste it there, and there we go. That is our DOM. That is mobile menu DOM, the mobile menu button, and also that. So for the mobile menu button, what I can do is the mobile menu button dot element listener. It will listen to the click. Right after we hear a click, I can do navlinks and do class list. We'll just put toggle saying active. There we go. That is our mobile menu. Right now, next thing what I need to do is I saw that was not how it was supposed to be. So I'm just gonna remake the mobile menu button again. Recheck, that is. I go here. And give me a second, guys. I'll probably do that in a bit. And yeah, that should be fine. I just realized something is that's not the hamburger menu icon that we're trying to make. The reason behind that is I think somewhere I messed up somewhere here. So if I go up there, oh, okay. I meant to keep gap there. So yeah, there we go. That's our nav button, and it's also working really weird. It is getting toggled though. We also have to change the toggle menu. But if I mean, I don't think we have to. So next thing what you can do is we forgot to add width. So I'm just gonna add the width to 100%. Now it should work. There we go. And now next thing I forgot to do is since it's flex, and I'll just do text align center here. And yeah, that should look pretty good. There we go. And yeah, that should look pretty good. Now, next thing what I can do is do document. Now, this is for the scrolling animation that we are trying to make, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the links, right? It will select all of the links with the hashtag. What I'm going to do here, and what I'm going to do here is that, and inside this href, I'm going to select all of those. So I'm just going to do equals to, and I'm going to select all of the links, and I'm going to loop them saying anchor because they're anchor tags, right? And do anchor dot add event listener, and select all of the add event listener, and we'll listen to the click. So when we listen to click, what we're basically trying to make is when we are into that, right, when you click over it, it will basically teleporting us to that. I want to make a scroll into view kind of a smooth animation, so that's what we're trying to make here. So for that, we'll listen to the click of the buttons, right? When the button is clicked, what I'm going to do is first check. We're gonna prevent all of the default events, right? So maybe the scroll, like the page reloading and all of those stuff. So next what I'm gonna do is set the target, which whatever target it was, right? And when you click on it, whatever target it lands to, let's say you click on home properties, it will land you to properties page. Right? Contact, it will land you to contact page, right? That's the target. To get that, what I'm going to do is do document.querySelector, because we already have one. Do this dot get attribute, and that attribute is href. So we'll get the href attribute. So this will basically give us, is it sections, properties, or whatever that. And if the target exists, we have to check if else condition if the target exists. And if it does, what I'm going to do is do scroll target dot scroll into view, and this will take a object. So I'm just going to do that. The parameters will be, one will be behavior. I'm going to do behavior and add that to smooth. Now next will be block, and this will be start. There we go. After that, we have to change the navlinks dot class list to remove active if they do have active, right? So basically, when you click on something, it will basically disappear, and it will scroll into view just like that. Now, right now we don't have any content because because they have their opacity set to 0, and we still have to make that fading animation. So next what I'm going to do is for the fading animation, I'm just going to make a observer option. So what I'm going to do is set observer options and make a object of threshold first. Threshold set to 0.1 and root margin. For the root margin, I'm just gonna set that to 0 pixels, minus 50 pixels, negative 50 pixels, and also do 0 pixels. So that is our observer options. I can do const observer from the observer equals to new interaction. I'm gonna do interaction observer. I'm gonna do entries here, and for entries, I'm just gonna loop the entries. For each entry, we're just gonna check if entry is intersecting, and if it is, then what I'm gonna do is do entry dot target dot class list. I'm gonna add visible, just like that, and I'm gonna do observer options. I forgot the comma here, and yeah, that should be it. Now next is we have to make the animate the thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next thing we can do is code to top down. I think it's messed up in the scroll because it's not detecting the scroll. So, oh, there we go. Right, that should be scroll. Scroll to Y, and yeah, that makes sense. Now, next thing what I'm gonna do here is, yeah. So it's not getting, okay, that's fine. Let's move on to another step. Now it's not getting visible yet because we still have to make a lot more functions, and once we do it, we have to make another rebuild function for section observer. So after doing that, it should all reveal it. But for now, just pretend there is. But like once we do it, it should look pretty good. And yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so next thing that we have to make is the counter animation, which is probably around here. But for that, I think we have to, I'm going to take a quick break, about 1 second, drink water. Now, next thing what we have to do is we have to call the DOM first. So that's document.getElement by ID. Actually, I'm going to use query selector here. Query selector all and use .fade in here and do for each element, right? For each element, I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna see we're gonna observe the element, and we'll do observe the element. We'll basically apply the fade in for all of the observed element. I forgot to pass EL here, and yeah, that's about it. Now next thing you have to animate those, right? So what I'm gonna do here is make a function which will just say animate counter. So what will this do is, as you can see now, all of the things will just appear now. As you can see, just like that, it looks cool, right? The next thing what we need to do is basically we need to update all of these, right? Now it's on 0. We have to update the counter by also animating it. So like it's just incrementing really fast, and that animation is really cool. So to do that, what I'm going to do is first take the element as a parameter, and also have the target value. So what will be the peak value of any of those things, right? Let's say property sold can be like 1200, 1250. Happy clients, let's say, I don't know, 500,000, whatever, like, you know, that is a target value, right? So what I'm going to do here is initially all of that is 0. So I'm just going to assume, or it's not assume, I'm just going to let the initial value of the count to be 0. And what are we gonna and what we're gonna do is we're gonna increment it. So I'm just gonna make a variable called increment and do target, which is the value, and divide it by 0, right? That is the increment value. I'm gonna use the timer, and I'm gonna set an interval. I'm gonna set the interval. The interval will be of 20 milliseconds, so it's really fast. And I'm gonna do count. I'm going to add the increment, right? And what I'm going to do is also, if count is greater than equals to the target, and then greater than equals to target, then do element dot text content, text content is equal to the target. That will be here, and I'm also going to clear the interval using the timer. Oops. And else, I'm just going to do element dot text content equals to math dot floor and do count. And that is the function. Now we have to call this function somewhere. What I'm going to do here is do const and do stats section and do document dot get I'm going to do query selector, and I'm going to select the stats div, and initially I'm just going to say that do let stats animate. I'm just gonna name it animated equals to false. So it's gonna, this variable will be a state for is the actual thing already animated. If it is, then just don't animate, right? If it isn't animated, then animate. You know what I'm talking about. So we'll basically we're gonna make a observer here. So when this observer is basically a function basically checks what is actually visible currently in your screen. So let's say if I go down here, this is visible. So it basically checks what is visible, and when it's observed, the observer observes, it basically does the animation. That's what we're trying to build here. So I'm just gonna use intersection observer here. Now we have entries. Entries are all of the things that you guys see here, right? And we're basically gonna do that. And entries, we're gonna loop all of the entries from the observer, right? We're gonna do for each entry. So this will basically loop for all of the entry. And it's gonna check if entry dot is intersecting, if it is visible, and if it is, it will, and the stats animated is false. That means it hasn't been animated. If it is, then it will just be false and not animated even further. But if it's not animated, it will basically first set the stats animated to true, which is this animation right here. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to call our function, that is animate counter, and we're going to pass our all of our things. That is, the first one is the properties sold. I think that's it, right? If I go stats here, yeah, there we go, properties sold. Next one is happy client, so I'm just gonna do that. Now we need to pass a value to which this has to be animated. In this case, let's say it's 2050, just like that. And I'm just gonna copy paste it, I think obviously 4 times. Now next is this. I'm gonna copy that, paste it here, and let's say that is I don't know, 850, I guess. Now next we have years of experience. There we go. I'm gonna paste that. Let's say 15, why not? And next is awards. And awards, let's say is 20. Let's go with that. Now next we have to basically add the observers. So I'm just gonna do that here, saying observer options. And next I'm just going to do stat observer dot observe. We have to observe the stats section. Now if we do that, that should animate just like that, and that looks really cool. The website is already looking really fun, really good, and we only have written like 70 lines of code. If we go here, it's this is animating nicely. If we come down here, everything looks fine like this, also animates just like that, and yeah, everything looks fine. Now next thing that we have to build is for the contact form. So we are basically need to build a submission for the contact form. So what I'm going to do here is basically first get the form, right? We're going to call the DOM. So let's say that they think the form is what is the DOM name? Contact form. Yeah, there we go. I was correct. And we basically will listen to a submit, right? And if the submit triggers, the name function, this will be anonymous function, and it will basically trigger this. So what it will do is first basically prevent any types of reload, any types of default event that is already been triggered when we click submit. So we'll basically trigger that. And next, what I'm going to do is do const.formData equals to new form data. Since it's a form, so I'm just going to call form data, and we'll basically make this form. So after that, what I'm going to do is do const name. By this, we mean this contact form. So what I'm going to do here is do num. I'm going to do form data dot get. That's first going to get the name. So you see this right here, name. We'll get that. And here, what I'm going to do is, oops. Okay, I was not supposed to do that. we'll get all of other stuff. So one is email. I'm just gonna copy, paste that here. Next is phone. I'm gonna get that, paste that here. Next is message. I'm gonna copy that, paste that here. So that's all of our value for the form. So next, what I need to do is need to get the name. Before that, what I'm gonna do is if any one of those does not exist, I mean message, if any one of those returning null, we'll basically do alert. And to scroll down because emits are actually hiding what I'm typing. Next, I'm just gonna do please fill in all required fields. That makes sense. Next, what I need to do is if that happens, there is no point in sitting in this function anyway, so I'm just going to return from the function. Just like that. Now, next is we have to simulate a form submission. So what I'm going to do here is basically first take the submit button, right, and do document.query selector, and we'll select the submit button just like that. And first we're gonna do original. I'm just basically doing I'm just gonna say it's right now it says send message. We'll put in delay here and we'll change it to sending, and after a few seconds we'll basically change it back and we'll put in alert message. So first what I need to do is store the original text, which is send message text, right? We have to initially store that in a variable to just revert back to it. So I'm just going to type original text and do submit button dot text content. That will store the original send message string, and do submit button dot text content. Since the button is already pressed, I'm just going to do sending, and just like that I'm going to do submit button dot disabled and do disabled and set that to true. And next I need to set a timeout here. Let's say the timeout is of 3 seconds, and I'm going to do alert and do thank you for contacting us. We will reach out to you shortly. That will be the message that will be displayed. Again, you can actually make it using a toaster, like a small pop-up. That's completely fine, but I don't want to do that because that will make the stream really long. So I'm just trying to prevent doing that. So next I need to reset the form. And next what I need to do is do submit button dot text content and do original text. Since right now it's sending, right? I have to change back to original text. And the button is also disabled here. So I need to enable that. So set that to false. And yeah, that is our submit button. Now let's quickly try it and do that. Just do that. Phone number is something, and just do that and click on message. That says sending. After 3 seconds, it should say thank you for your contact. We'll reach out to you shortly. So that is our thing. And after you click on OK, all of the values should be reset. This should revert back to its original content, that is send message, and also it should not be disabled. There we go. So next thing what I need to do is we basically have to make other effects. So I don't think we have to right now. And now what we'll do is make a parallax effect for the hero section. Now what I'm going to do here is do window dot. We're going to listen to the scroll, right? And here what I'm going to do is basically do const scrolled equals to window. We're going to put the offset. So I'm just going to do window dot page offset, page y offset. I will get the on scrolling of the y direction, which is the up and down. The next one I need to do is do hero. I need to get the DOM element. I'm just going to do document.query selector and call hero. And if hero exists, then we can do this. If hero exists, we'll just do hero.style style.transform, and we'll just translate it to y. And what we'll do here is basically just do scrolled, and times it will do 0.5 pixels. Just like that. And yeah, it should look pretty nice. Okay, there we go. I messed up there. That should be style. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Now what's happening here is we are listening to scroll, and when we listen to scroll, we're basically just multiplying the thing by like, let's say 10. And yeah, that should be fine. So that's basically half of the translate. So when we go here, there we go, there is the parallax effect. And yeah, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? In my opinion, that looks pretty good. So yeah, that is our thing. Now another thing that we can make is for the feature animation, we can basically make another effect for this. What I'm going to do here is do document dot query selector all and do feature card. We're going to get the feature card, which is these card right here. What I'm going to do here is do for each. I'm just going to call the card, which is individual DOM element, and also get the index. So after that, what I'm going to do is do card dot add event listener. I'm just going to check. I'm going to listen to a hover effect. So for hover, I'm just have to do mouse enter, and I'm going to do here. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to do this dot style dot transform, and basically gonna do that. So here, what is happening? So this will basically do that, and do translate y at -10 pixels, and do rotate 0 degrees. Now do that, and next, after the mouse leaves, we also have to rotate this by 2 degrees, and now it's rotated. Now when mouse leaves, it will move back to 0. And yeah, it will have a cool lifting effect. Just like that. Looks pretty cool. Yes, it does. Now, next what I need to do is for the properties card, I also want to make one for properties card. So what I'm going to do here is I can just change that to property. All of the things will be same. These parameters will be different. And instead of rotate, we'll use scale here. We'll scale it by, let's say, 1.02. And after that, I'm just gonna be the same here, and basically just gonna copy this, paste here, change it back normal when the mouse leaves. So now if we go to properties, as you can see, it has a glowing effect. Now you can do this for CSS, but I just taught you how to do it with JavaScript. Cool, right? Yes, sir. So next thing what I'm gonna do is for the loading images for loading animation for images, right? What I'm gonna do here, I don't think we need it though, do we? It is in the script, but do we need that? It's good to add it. Okay. The next one I'm going to do here is, let's not add that, and just do query selector all, and basically take the property card. Now we just need to add the event handler for the images. So if you click on this image, what happens, right? What I'm going to do here is do property dot card. This is a way wrong way of doing it. Now it works. Now we'll get all of the property cards, and I'm just going to do for each card, I'm just going to do card dot add event listener. We'll listen to a click, and just do functions, and just do const title equals to this dot query selector. And the reason I didn't include the loading animation is because it kind of useless here. I cannot show you guys. So next, probably next, if you can do this, and I'll show you guys. And yeah, now next a property card. What I'm going to do here is, what am I doing? So we need to select the property titles. So what I'm going to do here is do property title, and we'll get the text content of this. Now we have to, for this is for title, this is for the price. Now I'm just showing you for this, and that is for the location. Do price here and change that to price as well. That says same. Now next is location. So can do that and do location, and also get the span like that. And yeah, that is all of our 3 DOMs. So next what I can do is do alert. And now what I'm going to do is just do property details, and put 2 backspaces, and do title here, and add titles. So title is title, right? And change that. It's like that, and do price. Change that. And for that, what I need to do is also put the price here. And after that, what I need to do is type the location. And yeah, I'm just gonna do location here. And I have to add double space here. And do contact us for more information. And yeah, I'm just gonna format the document. That should look pretty nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now next thing I need to do is we basically gonna make a typing effect for the hero section. So this is a typewriter function. What I'm gonna do is do typewriter. This will take the element, which is the div, and this is the text content, and also do speed. Let's say that speed is 100. How do we make it? First, we have to make an iterator. So initially, let's define an I, this is 0, and do element dot text content. So initially, let's say it's null, and do element dot style dot opacity. Opacity, let's say, is 1. Right? What I'm going to do here is do function, and this is the function that will type, and let's say if I what I did there, I was not supposed to do that. So if I is less than the text length, which makes sense, I is less than the text length, only then it will make sense to run this function. So I'm just going to do that. Element dot text content is just append the text dot char at I. There we go, and do I plus plus. It'll basically change that to index. It'll just basically write in iteration, right? and also do set timeout, set timeout, I'm going to do type and speed, which is 100, so that's 100 milliseconds. Now we have to call this function. We have to call this function and do type here, and we have to apply this function. We'll do it later. Okay. And now, actually we can just do this now. We can do window.addEventListener and just load, because it will just load to hero page anyway, so you can just listen to node. And when load, I'm just gonna first get the hero title just like that. Just do document.query selector and get the hero content h1 and get if the hero title exists, then do set timeout of 1000 seconds, and after that what I'm going to do is do typewriter equals to hero title, and next parameter that I need to send is the text. So I'm just going to send this right here, which is the text, which we need to be printed. And next I need to send the speed. Let's say speed is 100. It's not working. Yep. Okay, so it is uncaught error typewriter. So that's weird. 151. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so I just have to change that. And there we go, that works. Oh, it didn't, oh, okay, that makes sense. Text content didn't set to this, and now it will just have the typewriter effect, and yeah, boom, there we go. Looks cool. So what I can do, I can also change the text. Let's say subscribe to the channel. I can just type that. I'll change that to that and just subscribe channel. So that's that is subscribe to the channel, guys, and also hit that like button, please. So let's change back to that, and let's go ahead and add a search filter. So what I'm going to do here is I don't think I need. Now last, what you have to do is let's scroll down and we'll basically finish this. So I'm just going to I'm going to listen to DOM loaded just like that, and after that we'll run this function, and we'll just take all of the elements from the DOM, saying document dot get element. Actually I can do query selector all, because I need all the fade in. So we remember we added the fade in class to most of the elements, which we need to add the effect. Now what we can do is do elements dot for each element. I'm just making short form of element, and we're basically doing that, but I need to wrap this inside another bracket because there are parameters, and I'm going to do el.style.animation delay. I'm just gonna add that and do index times 0.1 seconds. All of that. Now next thing what I can do is add the animation for sections. What I'm going to do here is do const section document dot query selector all again. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna call all of these section DOM elements, so all of these section right here. So let's say this can be a section, all of these section tag basically. And what I'm going to do here is do sections dot for each section. I'm just gonna what I'm going to do is do section dot style dot opacity. I'm going to set that to 0. Also I'm going to do transform. Let's see, I can do translate. The reason it went out is because I saved. And yeah, and also the opacity is 0. So next thing what I can do is do transition. I can do opacity 0.6 seconds at ease, and transform 0.6 seconds at ease. So next what I need to do is we need to observe it. So I can do section observer. I want to make a new observer here which observes the section, which is the entries right here, which can be all of the entries. And here what I need to do is do entries dot for each entry. I can just do if the entry is there, if the entry exists, which is if the thing has entered the screen. I can do entry dot target dot style dot opacity is, I can set that to 1. And next thing what I can do is also do this. And here what I'm gonna do is just copy here, paste it here, and instead of 20 pixels I can do 0 pixels. And yeah, now I need to add a threshold here. So what I can do here is basically just do that and make an object called threshold equals to 0.1. I forgot comma here. Oh, actually I forgot a lot of things, so there we go. And next I can just need to observe these sections, and what I can do here is after this function I can just make section okay, and I put this in the wrong thing, I think. So yeah, there we go. And I can just do what I can do here is do sections dot for each section. I can just do that and do section observer dot observe. I can do section, that should come back down there, and do console.log. The thing is loaded successfully. Just put that to the backend servers, and yeah, looks pretty good. And yeah, that is our website. Hopefully you guys like it. If you guys do, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So that is our real estate website that we have built in today's stream. If you guys like the design and want to see more of these, again, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out our other projects that we have made. We have already done like I think 50 of them at this point already. So yeah, it's also responsive, by the way. Okay, maybe not that much, but by wide margin it's responsive. And it also has this. You can change that. And if you click on the thing, it basically gives you an alert message. And yeah, pretty cool. And it also has that incrementing effect. And if you type anything here, so if I do that and just type anything here, here's something, and after 3 seconds, I think I kept, I just say thank you for contacting us and we'll reach out to you shortly. So this is the thing, and yeah, that's the website. So if you guys enjoyed this, then yeah, that's it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next stream. Till then, bye bye guys, and have a good one.